Hello everyone, welcome to another new video. I apologize for not uploading videos regularly. But let us not waste time in apologizing, but start knowing interesting facts about the Bengal's legend Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose. Subhas Chandra Bose was born on 23rd January 1897 to Janaki Nath Bose and Prabhavati Devi. He was a brilliant student right from childhood. He had graduated from the Scottish Church College in philosophy. In an incident, he beat up a professor named E.F. Orton for making racist remarks. Since his father wanted him to become a civil servant, he was sent to England to study in the Cambridge University and prepare himself for the civil service examination. He passed the civil service examination in 1920 and he held the 4th rank. But due to nationalist turmoils, he returned back to India and resigned from his job. Another reason for not being a civil servant was that if he would become a civil servant, he would have to side with the British, which he would not do. Initially, Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose worked under Deshbandhu Chittaranjan Das, whom he acknowledged as his political guru. He had been arrested multiple times as he was suspected to have secret relations with the revolutionaries. In the mid-1930s, Netaji travelled to various European countries, meeting various Indian students as well as European politicians. He did also meet Mussolini. Netaji had been arrested in 1930 because of the civil disobedience movement. He was again released in 1931 when Gandhiji had signed the Gandhi-Irvine Pact. Netaji strictly opposed the Gandhi-Irvine Pact and also the suspension of the civil disobedience movement because by that time Bhagat Singh and also his other associates had already been hanged. In the year 1939, the difference between the moderate Gandhiji and the aggressive Netaji made Netaji resign from Congress. In the same year, he had formed the Forward Bloc. Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose strongly opposed the decision of the Congress of standing by the British during the Second World War. It was at that time when Netaji called out to the nation and said, "Give me blood and I shall give you freedom." I think that standing in the India that was ruled by the British and every person dreamt of freedom, this line meant to them a lot, and hence Netaji had received a huge response. Soon after that, Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose had been arrested, though he was released in a few days because his health deteriorated after a 7-day hunger strike. His house was kept under strict CID surveillance so that he could not escape from his house. As he was Netaji, he escaped from the house and went to Germany via Afghanistan and the Soviet Union. He worked on the maxim of that an enemy's enemy is a friend. As he wanted to fight with the British, he sought cooperation with both Germany as well as Japan. In Berlin, Germany, Netaji had formed the Azad Hind Radio under a special bureau for Indians. There he and many other Indians regularly broadcasted in different languages. In the year 1943, Netaji travelled to Tokyo, Japan via submarines from Berlin in Germany. It can be understood how dangerous it would be to travel for so many days under the sea, but Netaji had taken that life risk. In Tokyo, Japan, Netaji took over the Indian independence movement of Southeast Asia from Rajbihari Bose. He had also formed the Azad Hind Fauj, also known as the INA. The INA was comprised of the prisoners of war of the British Indian Army and also of the civil volunteers of the India expatriates of Burma and also Malaya. The INA was under the Azad Hind government, which was approved by 9 Axis states. The INA along with Netaji had started for India and reached the Indian soil on 18th March 1944. As the Second World War II tide had turned, the Japanese and the German army had surrendered. This situation had forced Netaji to stop further advancement and make the INA retreat. It is said that Netaji, after the retreat, went back to Singapore to meet the Field Marshal, who was the head of the army in the Southeast Asia. He was the one who had arranged Netaji's flight to Tokyo. Netaji boarded the bomber from the Saigon airport on 17th August 1945 and the following day the bomber had crashed. Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose died in the air crash in Taiwan, Taipei. The reason for his death is said to be third-degree burn. The ashes of Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose is stored in the Renkoji temple in Tokyo. Jawaharlal Nehru, as the Prime Minister, and also Netaji's nephew Shishir Kumar Bose had gone there to pay their homage to Netaji. After looking through the entire life of Netaji, it can be understood that his primary ideology was to make India independent, even though if it meant taking help from the fascists like Mussolini or Hitler. After summarizing the entire life of Netaji, it can be said that he was amongst the most prominent freedom fighters of India. His contribution to the India's freedom struggle was huge. Yes, he has been denied of the rightful place he must have received in the annals of Indian history. Nowadays, there are so many Hindu-Muslim problems, but you must be surprised to know that the Azad Hind Fauj that Netaji had formed, there were members of all different castes and regions, like it comprised of the Hindus as well as the Muslims, the people of North India as well as the people of South India. There, all the people worked with unity to make India independent. So, it can be said that Netaji was a great unifying leader who had received loyalty from all castes and divisions. Many of Netaji's family members had also helped him throughout his career, like his elder brother Sharat Chandra Bose had helped him both emotionally and also financially. His nephew Shishir Kumar Bose had also driven his car when he escaped from his house and went to Germany. Netaji's leadership qualities are beyond explanation. He was a leader and not a boss. I mean to say that Netaji always went with his INA members to the various hostile conditions where he would not have received the luxuries which he would have received if he would stay in any city or any well-developed place. Though he did not go to the battlefront, he was always by the side of the different members of the INA. He did not ask his followers to do anything which he himself would not do. There is always a lot to learn from the life of Netaji, be it his leadership qualities or his sacrifice for his nation. He never hesitated to leave behind his family to make India independent and go to the various places. When he was in Germany, he married and they had a daughter named Anita Bose-Paff. He also did not hesitate to leave them behind and go to Japan and march towards India to make India independent. As I have already said, Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose is a great unifying leader. He had received loyalty from all different religions, castes or linguistic regional people. So, it may have been that India would not be divided if Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose was present at the climatic point of the independence of India. If the leaders of today are like Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose, it would be a lot easier to build the India that Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose had wanted. Through this video of mine, I have tried to pay my little homage to Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose. It has been very difficult to go through the entire life of Netaji in such a short span of time. I have tried my level best. I think I do not have to tell you all to like my video, as if you respect Netaji and if you love India, you must have already done that. And do also subscribe to my channel so that you become the first person to see my interesting videos. Bye bye for now, and I hope to see you in the next video very soon. And at last, Jai Hind.